So this video is about how to charge a power bank and your leisure batteries and your starter motor all at once.
Roll up to the greatest show in the world.
Lights, camera, action!
So good morning. So this is the video you've all been waiting for the last 3 months. So I thought I'd film it today, seeing as we're stuck here at this location, just chilling for a few days. But I wanted to test what I've done for a good couple of months. So it has been a struggle because the information that you get online and other YouTube videos and people that have asked, not a lot of people will tell you about it. So what we're going to do today is show you what I've done. So let me explain a few things first so you can get the drift of the last 3 months what I've been doing. So this is the motorhome, okay? So this motorhome, like all other motorhomes, has solar panels on roof. So we have 400 watts of solar panels on the roof, which go all the way down. I know it's on the other side, but charge the leisure batteries. Might be better explaining it on the other side, wouldn't it? So you've got the 400 watts, is about in the middle, two 200 watt panels, which join together, okay? And the cables come through the motorhome all the way down here inside where you can't see the wires, and it goes to the leisure batteries, which is there. Got me hooded up because it's a bit chilly. We had in Scotland. So when we have sun, your leisure batteries charge like other vehicles, and then when you start your engine, they charge also with one of them MPPT things, whatever it is. So when you've got your engine running, you've got the sun and you've got the engine charging your leisure batteries. But the problem is, well, that is fine to tell you the truth, but the problem is we use my laptop and iPad and all sorts for our YouTube editing, which we do need a power bank for that. So as you know, we do get gifted power banks, but this is not a power bank review, so don't turn off yet. This is how I've powered a power bank. So what I've done is I put a 500 watt solar panel up there, okay, that's not connected to the motorhome, and the wire runs all the way down here and it runs all the way through the motorhome, which is hidden, okay, and then it plugs into here, which is the Anderson socket. It'll power the power bank up to 500 watts. And if you like to know where you get them power banks from, the solar panel, then you can get them from City Plumbing for 76 quid. 500 watt solar, well, 535 watt solar panel. And it brings in about 480 on a good day. But the problem is, right, it's winter now, so I've got to pretend that the motorhome has no sun, which it does not have any sun. So I need to charge the power bank. So the way that I've charged the power bank is, the first one I did, I installed a 3000 watt inverter, a Renogy one, which basically 2 wires went to my leisure battery, which is only a red and black one. But remember, when you do put an inverter in, you have to put the negative on first, then the fused red wire. And the Renogy is so simple. So on the Renogy, it's got a black wire that goes in, and it's got a red wire that goes in. So that's fine. But then on the back end of it, you have a kettle lead socket, you know, like the kettle lead, the old style, what you plug in. So I run a wire from that all the way to here, and then I installed a switch there, because you can have it on switch, on an auto on off, you know, on and off. So what I'm doing when my engine's running, I switch the switch on and I turn it on, and it charges that power bank at 1400 watts. Yes, I know that sounds a lot, but on the A3 power bank it'll charge at 1500 watts, but your leisure batteries go zoof. So then you've got to turn the energy switch off, and then while you're driving your leisure battery's charged. But I thought to myself, well, my battery's going up and down, up and down, up and down, it's going to damage them. So I got the All Powers power bank. But on the All Powers power bank you can limit the watts coming in through the app. So I limited it to 400 watts. But the problem is, it was still draining it slowly. So I got told to put it to the starter battery. But how do you monitor it off your starter battery? So I thought, I'm not going to do that, because if the starter battery drains and I'm knackered, I'm going to be stuck in the middle of nowhere with a 5.5 ton vehicle and I need recovery or some jump leads or something, which that's not good. I wanted something that I could just put my key in ignition, turn it, and it powers a power bank and it runs my engine and it charges my leisure batteries. So I've come up with it. I figured it out 2 months later. So what I did, after a lot of research, okay, I bought one of them Victrons. It was a 12 by 12 by 15. So I installed the Victron and I did it, and I turned the ignition on and it was still giving me 120 watts. So I thought, oh no, I've done it wrong, haven't I? So I did some more research. Remember, I've been trying to do this for ages. So what I did, I thought I need more watts going into my power bank, because it'll only take so many watts in. So what I did, I bought this, the Orion TR1224 by 15, and it's a non-Bluetooth one, by the way. That is the important bit, because the Bluetooth one you have to do everything through the app. On this Victron, it tells you what it is, you can see what it is, but it says it'll bring up to 360 watts at 15. 360 watts, that's good, isn't it? And then you've got your wire in here, which I'll explain in a minute, but then you've got this little, you put a little flat-headed screwdriver in there and you can turn it left or right. So if it's fully to the right, it'll bring in your full 360 watts, and then if you lower it right down, it can go to 100 watts if you want it to. So it's up to you, but this depends on your starter battery, the way I've done it. So I thought, if I stick that on full whack, it's just going to drain my battery. But I have connected this to my starter battery. So this is 8 gauge wire, which Victron recommended. I've got the input, which is the plus, which is a red, which goes to my starter battery, which is fused. And then I've got my negative. I didn't know if that wanted to be fused or not, so I fused it anyway. So that's them two. And then the output, believe it or not, I run the 2 wires, which I've run all the way, hidden, and they come to this Anderson point here, which I plug this in here. So I thought, will this work? So I thought, how do I monitor my starter battery, my 2 leisure batteries, and charge a power bank? So I thought, God, this is going to be a nightmare. So what I did, I went on Amazon and I bought 3 battery monitors, one each for the leisure batteries and one for the starter battery. And it comes with this app, so you can look at it. So as you can see on my phone, this is one of my leisure batteries, this is the other leisure battery, and this is my starter motor battery, which is the main battery. So because it monitors, remember I've got a 2009 motorhome, it don't have all this Victron where it monitors and shows you amps coming in and going out. This just gives you an idea of the install what I've done and to monitor it. So like I said, you've got your 2 leisure batteries and your starter motor battery. So basically, when I start my engine, I want that charging that charging and that charging. I know it says battery okay at the moment, but that's because the engine is off. So when I turn my engine on, it should all start up. So, the other part of the Victron, what I did, it's got a wire which just goes in the right hand side, not the left, into the right, one little wire which goes all the way around. It's all hidden under here and it goes right back, and it's connected to the cigarette lighter. I didn't want to play with ignition wires, but my cigarette lighter, when you turn the key, the cigarette lighter comes on, and when you turn the key off, the cigarette lighter stops. So the Victron will only power up when the engine's on. So I start my engine, okay, and what I'll do, I'll start my engine now. And I'll show you what it did. So I've started the engine, normal. So that means my cigarette lighter will automatic work now. So because this is done, as you can see, the light is on. So this is pumping out whatever I turn that to. So what I needed is that charging. I know that won't say charging because it's 100%, but trust me, it does charge because I've done it. So what I need to do now is adjust this switch. So that says charging, that says charging, and that says charging. I'd recommend you get your starter battery a bit down. So when that's charging fully, and remember, this is on, so there's power going from here all the way around into the power bank. So I turned the screw on the Victron until I saw them charging all the lot at once. So that means my alternator on my 3 litre engine, so I don't know what kind of alternator it is. I think it's just a normal one. So that's charging my leisure batteries when I'm driving. It's charging my starter battery, so that don't go flat, and then whatever's left pumps in to the power bank. So what I'll do, I'll go to the power bank now and I'll show you what it's pumping in at. So as you can see, it's pumping in at 384 watts. I don't know how that's doing that, because it only says 360 on the box, but it does go up to 500 and odd on that Victron. So when my leisure batteries are completely full, if I'm going on a long trip, what I do is I flick this inverter on as well. And I'll come down here. So now I'm draining my leisure batteries, and as you can see, it's just flying up, still going. Yeah, it's bottomed out. That's as far as it'll go. So I'm getting 480, but my leisure batteries will go zoom, and I only can leave my inverter on for about 15 minutes before my leisure batteries are nearly half dead. So what I do then, I turn that off, and then that goes back to its 380. What it's doing. But remember, if you're going on a long trip, you could top that up, a couple of times, because now my engine is charging my starter, my leisure batteries, which I've just drained, and it's got the Victron going in. But remember, you don't have to get the inverter. That's just, I thought it'd do it when I first got it, and it didn't. So I've just left it in. I didn't know it'd do that until I started testing everything. But I don't use the inverter anymore. I only use the Victron. So for example, we are on this location, like I said, the beach. We stay here all day. So what I'll do now is we'll just run the engine for about 4 hours, just sat still and pretend that we're driving. and that'll charge my full power bank, as you've just seen. It only takes 3 hours anyway, and then it'll be fully charged. So you can use any power bank. Remember, all power banks are the same. There's not a good one, there's not a bad one. A power bank is like a matchbox. The bigger the box, the more matches you're going to get in it. So the bigger the power bank, the bigger battery that's inside. So that means you can store more. And I found out the A3 does have that bigger battery inside. There might be other power banks out there, but like I say, we use 2 of them, power banks. The reason one's dead, we can use another one, but one's always on charge when the engine's running. So I hope I haven't confused you. But at the end of the day, to make it even simple, if you don't want to go through that lot, all you have to do is buy one of them, put that wire to your negative battery, no, to your positive battery on your main battery, negative on your main battery. That one and these 2 wires runs all the way to this socket, which goes in the Anderson socket, that's called, in that power bank. On the old powers, you can get, you know, the XT60. All you've got to do is buy that cable, and you can buy it in different lengths. And then the last thing you need to do is put the wire in to your cigarette lighter, ignition wire, anything like that. So when you turn your engine on, it comes live. You don't want it on full time, otherwise your Victron will just drain your battery if you haven't got it on. But if you get the Bluetooth model, which I was going to get, but it was an extra £100. So I thought a piece of wire to my cigarette lighter is cheaper. So you could get the Bluetooth model. I suppose on the Bluetooth model it does have the automatic on off, you know, does all that for you, but it's just simple to do a wire. And I don't know if you know, but to take out the cigarette lighter, what you do is to make sure your engine's off, and inside there's a lug in there and there's a lug in there, and what you do, you press that in and press that in, don't push right at the bottom, and then once you do that, this just pulls up and then your wire's underneath it, if you didn't know. So I hope this video has explained a lot, because it's took me about 2 to 3 months to figure all this out. So mine's set up on the inverter and the Victron. So if I am going long distances, I will put the inverter on, but it's no good for short distances because it just drains your battery quite quick. So there you go, that's what I did. Now if you do it yourself, then don't come moaning at me like you're blowing your motorhome up. That's the way I've done it, and if you want to do it that way, that's fine. But as I'm just putting these files together onto the computer, my power bank is at 73%. So in the last 10 minutes it's gone up 11%, and all these are full now. So I've turned the engine off now. I've got 71% to do some editing, etc.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.
Used to late nights dancing my laser. Could get used to long drives.
Roll up to the greatest show in the world.
Used to late nights dancing my laser. Could get used to long drives.
Roll up to the greatest show in the world.